I've been compelled to move this motion as a desperate plea to the Morrison government to provide a headspace for the Hawkesbury. We've needed one for years. I committed to one at the last election, and we've seen the benefit of the commitment, the bipartisan commitment in Katoomba, even though that is just a smaller satellite headspace. It's made a real difference. But I've been urging since 2013 that the Hawkesbury needs its own dedicated space for young people to seek help with their mental health. The Hawkesbury has seen a number of recent tragic suicides by young men and boys, and these highlight the really desperate need for there to be ready access to mental health services at an early stage, and then to be able to support people as they have their journey, hopefully, to mental good health. One of the things I've done is issue a petition and invite people to share their comments and views about why they think we need a headspace in the Hawkesbury. And I want to share some of those comments from people who already hundreds of people have sent me, have signed the petition and given their reasons why. And these are some of the things people say. And I want to start with the comments made by people who are practitioners in this area. And I start with a comment from the manager of the Headspace in Katoomba, who is very much encouraging and supportive of an establishment of one in the Hawkesbury. The Katoomba Headspace has been blown away by the demand that it's faced, and that is not a good thing. We always knew there was an unreported demand in the Blue Mountains, but it has come through, and the same is going to happen in the Hawkesbury when, and I'm confident that we will get a headspace. Really, this motion is saying to the government, please do it because it's the right thing to do. Please don't make this about politics. Please do this now when it is so urgently needed. Here's an example of the sorts of comments that educators give me. So this one is from, I'll just call her Kristen. She's an educator and she deals with families on a daily basis in distress with no local support services to turn to when they have children experiencing a range of mental health issues. She says waiting lists for psychologists are months long. The impact on both children and parents is dramatic and long-term. The increase in mental health issues over the past 2 years is phenomenal, she says, and our community is in desperate need of immediate help. Now, you wonder why the past 2 years? Well, obviously there was drought that affected many parts of the Hawkesbury. We had bushfires beyond the scale that anyone has seen. We then had flood, we then had COVID, and then we had a second flood, the largest we've had in 30 years. And these are some of the reasons why people are really at the end of their tether. Another person who signed the petition said, my wife works in mental health for Nepean and Blue Mountains and said this is really, really needed. You've got to listen to the people at the coalface, he says. Here's another, I work at Hawkesbury Hospital and agree we really need a headspace in the area. And a chaplain from a local high school. I work at a high school as a chaplain and do various other youth work. This is a necessity for the area. And this one, as someone who's worked with young people for over 15 years, I'm well aware of the difficulties the current generation is facing. I work with adolescents in the Hawkesbury and see their struggles on a daily basis, particularly over the last 18 months. It's absolutely vital that this community receives the support and that intervention is put in place to assist in making a positive difference for our children in the Hawkesbury. It is absolutely long overdue and a necessity for current and future generations. I have comments from psychologists. I have comments from people involved in the consumer side of the hospital. I have dozens of comments from parents. Things like, I've been looking for something like this for my 16-year-old, or I have a daughter fighting every day to feel normal in a world that feels so strange. My son had PTSD and struggled with depression. We desperately need a local headspace. The closest one is Penrith, which is so hard to get to. And I'm going to finish with the words of a young woman who says mental health issues were an issue for her. I didn't want to travel 30 minutes to Penrith, but I had no choice. I knew I'd be in a fragile state driving home. We need a Headspace in the Hawkesbury now.